Okay, my question to y'all is when y'all watch videos, what do y'all see? Because it's not the same shit that I saw before I became an adult, right? Like, when I was younger and I was watching videos, I didn't feel recognized. Like, what am I about to say? Let's just take a moment real quick. Okay, right? So, I don't even want to bring that up, but I was going to talk about my city and artists that knew about Georgia, right? Because it's just like, wait a minute. I felt recognized. So, but just to go back to what I was saying, right? Because obviously, the question is this, right? If the stuff that I don't have to worry about, it's like when I was conscious on, because this is why I keep going live. It's like what it's like street comedy. It's like because I was conscious on my mother, but we don't want to give me that. Nobody was conscious on their mother. Like what I'm saying is when my mother told me about like she had a tumor with me, I felt like I was shelved. Like I felt like I was shut up. Like so to go into the last video I just made talking about my mother showed me a picture when I was 17. And I'm like, wow, I'm exactly the same. Like, don't let me out of sight or something might happen to me. But, just a regular understanding of when someone has an atmosphere like that. But I'm a bullet catcher, so it's more of don't let him out of sight or he's going to come up. And people just gravitate into certain things that they think can keep the alibi. From this demographics of 1995 to 2024, popularity wasn't troubleshooted by those demographics to social media's demographics. You know, so you know, like like I said, as a kid, when my mom told me like, in the end, I don't know what kid that in the end, the doctor will say the kid is fine, but there's something there. There's something there. There's all they be like. He meets the credential, the condition, the condition, conditions and credentials. I feel like I'm saying it too much with an accent or something. Credentials of fine. But in the end, if you look more into it, you understand a difference between people. Just from, that's with any, like how the mother was feeding herself with the, down to symptoms that the mother might have. So, yeah. So it's like when I was born, at 29, I'm now saying this. It's crazy. It's like once I'm born, no one's conscious on their mother no more. And I feel like that's what we did. We're trying to shut me up from being that conscious as a kid. Like, I feel like God was smiting the doctor and I was closing my eyes. And the doctor had too much sins to call it, the like I said some videos ago about putting my lifeline in danger and never wanted to be discipled in ref. But God was smiting in the ref, and then I'm being born. Like I said on the handle though about everybody had a ref but me. But God was smiting the doctor, and we don't talk about that. People never talk about that shit because they go to church, and God would just handle, and then when pastors come back to church, they see how they can come to church with a Cadillac or something, because they repented their sins more than the next people that come in the next days or something. So I feel like God was smiting. It's like once I was born, now God smiting is a no for that understanding or something. I feel like God was smiting to tell the doctors, do not overlook this child as normal because he doesn't meet y'all credentials, curriculum of intelligence. And I also had to close my eyes. So when I don't know, I'm gonna ask my mom. Probably not. If I do get to the moment, I'm gonna be like, did they ever say I was asleep in your stomach? I've never asked her that. But I think she has said, yeah, she's like, it's like you was, she's told me before, it's like you was always working out. And then, like I said, I knew what she was talking about. I was conscious. Like you gave the most problems. And that's usually like down to the smiting part of doing the right thing while you have a soul kidnapped. This a joke, but if it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I knew when my mom told me about certain things, I knew what she was talking about. It's like I need to calibrate the atmosphere, knowing instead of me knowing the difference between being followed from etc. etc. didn't say what it is, but etc. to me on this linear and authority martial arts thereof. But I feel like the doctors understood they was dealing with a powerful child, and I believe I closed my eyes, you know what I'm saying? Or, I woke, I believe I settled my energy and showed more energy. But in the end, I feel like it's God smiting why they deem me as a healthy baby. Because like I said, when my mom told me she had a tumor, it was like she told me this as a kid. It was like riding a reverse deck of cards, riding a reverse deck of cards. Like my mom would say stuff and go back on what she said, and like I said something. She just saw that I didn't. She tell me a story, and I just be like, "Hey, for real? She tell me a story, I'm like, we're not talking about some. I'm trying to figure out where I was, and when we're talking about the atmosphere, got me like, yeah, what you gonna say about that? It's 'cause since you keep account of all God's bodies, and they were like, oh yeah, I had a tumor when you was born. When they told me I was that, I was like, that's what I did. So just what I'm saying. And then story she ever told me that's dealing with me when I was a kid. So that being said, it goes back to like what I'm saying, being 17. So I feel like I was told to shut up, and this is the best I get for if I didn't shut up and try to speak. Oh, I was conscious and no one wanted to talk about consciousness from that type of understanding of what the pregnancy mythology is. And the Bible talks about Eve came from Adam's rib and stuff like that, understanding. So the question is this, because, I'm not going to lie. I've never thought about robbing nobody. But I am very skilled. So people be like, if anybody's going to do something, I think Zemaine would do something. And I'm a pirate, so it just gives a pirate a bad name. A pirate, it cares about jurisdiction, the wealthiest treasure. And people stereotype that and think, pirates love the wealthiest treasure so much, you know what I'm saying? There's no robbery because no one can, someone can, what's treasure to you, what's trash to another man is treasure to, you know what I'm saying? That saying on its highest meter is people don't understand why or what is the highest treasure in general for a community or gathering or, in general treasure. So, that's when people be like, you didn't want that. They'll think a pirate going to say that. No, man's trash. It's another man's trash. And they're really saying I was waiting for you to tell me what's the best things in the world, down to relationships and stuff like that, where people fake their situations to an extent because they see the treasure in other people from other people. But what I'm saying is, I never thought about because in the end, people be like, he has this skill set. Like, he doesn't think, but you can tell he wants to do a lot. I'm still juggling, but I'll still see you. I'm just juggling, but you feel me? So if we cross out harm injuries, right? We cross out not following the Constitution, and I still have this zillions of things that I want to do. Why haven't I done it yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, so why you want us to cross out? If you saying you want gonna break the Constitution, why haven't you done the? You know what I'm saying? That boom. That's what I mean. People come to my life, and then it's not a conversation. It's just obvious from my atmosphere moving forward to other people's atmospheres moving forward. And it's like, because I haven't been around a lot of people or witnesses in general, but like I was talking in my last live, it's like it's not the same shit before I made my first friend when I was a kid. And I had that understanding of what the world can come to. Because obviously I didn't have a American, I have American dad, but not an American parent that was around me. You know what I'm saying? So, the understanding of the world is way, I comprehend what, excuse me, some Americans lost their train of thought to comprehend because they feel like there's already authority on that level. So as a kid, I'm understanding I can become that authority on that level while people want to go just drink their life away. I'm comprehending what it takes to get on that level. And, years in and years out of comprehending that, while people are seeing that I got the lead, now comprehending it and being like I'm one person, like I said, 17. Someone with that atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? If I wasn't a bullet catcher, you wouldn't want them. You want to keep sight on them, as that's not how it happened. So, the question is this for why we don't think I understand the world. Is the things that's happened to other people not happen to me? Like, the only, clout wise, because in the end, Getting whooped doesn't mean you came from the trenches, okay? Going to jail doesn't mean you came from the trenches, okay? Having sins don't mean you came from the trenches. People that came from the trenches are God's holy children. If you sin and you're like, God still loves me because he loves all his children, you're spoiled. You took the opportunity to take advantage of love. People that don't take advantage of love are people that come from the trenches. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's because, like, I kid you not, I want to say, like, the doctor knew the barriers between laws to constitutional laws and in general to God, adjacency of smiting, that which is the strongest being when it comes to what people listen to or make their decisions in the old days. And that's why when I was conscious, it's like I just had my eyes closed. Like I had to close my eyes when they get smite, and then they're like, I'm not even gonna worry if the baby's sleeping there or not. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. Like I had to I had a goddamn as a baby. Because in the end, I was... Alright, so I'm seeing the visualization now, too. So, y'all know, like, in Kingdom Hearts, I like games that show, like, gravitational pull. Like, what is it, his final form? So, when I say I put my lifeline in danger, because, you know, if you know how you was born, you know, fess up about it. You know what I'm saying? Why hide the genius you are as a baby if you just don't feel like you're a genius? And I am a pirate. So when I saw them put Pirates of the Caribbean in 2, I was just like, you know, it was intriguing to me. But the point that I'm making, though, is, as I never seen that movie, the point that I'm making is, when I played Kingdom Hearts 2, and there was no going to go talk to my mom like I like the world when I go to the Caribbeans. And that's what I mean. I felt like I was shut up, and they kept trying to shut me up even at that age when I played that game. Like, it was that consistency. So the final form, right, you see he has this hovering gravity pool with his weapons. So I remember being a pirate, not a king. You know, like every word in the dictionary. And if you think of, when you hear, you know, in a natural disaster, you might be named king. You feel me? And then the nightmare of the world, natural disaster, might cause a natural disaster where your name is really king. You know what I'm saying? Or you can be as powerful as God. And then the nightmare to the natural disaster, your name might really just be God from what's been in the world of that person that's reached that feat. To Jesus being the story of starting as a human, you know what I'm saying, and really reaching the God feat. You know? So the only story to say the build up is from that to is where I keep my consciousness of a player. Why you call yourself a pirate? It's Prince. Because you can be named you be named Prince and then go to the first Prince obviously had to make the correlation to why it evolves to king. And so if you are in a natural disaster or a nightmare of natural disaster that you're just named Prince, yeah, the shuffle, writing versus deck of cards could have you involve that same prowess of power that you named named Prince, and you was named king. So it might not be like how you started as a prince and became king, but it can be how that evolution from human to God. You know what I'm saying? So if that doesn't even happen in the natural disaster of nightmares, you know that your life, if not name, has been premeditated on, anticipated on, to not make you king. And that's why I call myself a pirate, because I understood that type of consciousness. If I didn't know every name that I understood that consciousness before I was even 1 year. Actually, I remember they thinking Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell when I first made it home. But that's another story of waving at my older siblings. And then, it's like the air is saying, like, no, you don't remember that, because I know I had, when you have photographic memory, you don't lose it unless you choose to be undisciplined in your statutory acts, you know what I'm saying, or your stature in general. I never wanted friends. How did I lose? It's just a lot. They trying to shut me up. It's he say, she say. They try to shut me up, guys. They try to kill me. I'm just saying, like, how I had photographic memory, and when I played a game, when I played a medieval game, no proof of common sense, no proof of intelligence, no proof of thinking, and like I was saying in our hand, I was tearing up how, and like I said, it gave me the vibe of being named Prince. And then it's like a whole space away from, in another dimension you was named King, but that was just your name, and not no Prince, and then you evolved to King, like the natural disaster probably did for people that had that tracking of feet through situations. So it's like a sacrifice. So if a lost prince did their nativeness and became the chief, there was really the hidden king from when they was named Prince, type of chess. Mine, it's a whole black and white. You get what I'm saying? So that being said, that's why I know that I love God, and I always explain, I know I'm human. You know what I'm saying? I've never achieved that feat. I am a mummy. I've achieved being a mummy, which the pain between not achieving that feat. Mummies go through excruciating pain. You get what I'm saying? So that's when I clicked, okay, I'm Jahuli. And then I clicked on, like I said in my last video, about my consciousness. Are you the ghost of jealousy? You know what I'm saying? They think Ghost Recon Splinter Cell. But we're here. Oh, you know what I'm saying, to the Super Bowl. But okay, so the situation is, I had that type of consciousness being born. I was born with that type. Obviously, someone on that feet, is not going to forget. So I remember when I was about to, cause I don't feel like bringing up the natural disaster that happened, but in the end, CPR, there was a whole vibe like I haven't lost consciousness, but that wasn't me. That's what I'm saying. It's like, who said I lost photographic memory? No, it's the way, Harry Potter, when they was talking about it's like that vibe in there. Was saying I don't got photographic memory no more. It's like that vibe of chess. Like, I need to tell somebody I still got photographic memory. But what did I do to lose photographic memory? Be a bullet catcher? So I had to use my brain more and practice my brain as a vacuum void, that I didn't have to use my brain more. Train myself that, because, if you practice footwork and you practice speeding up your feet, you're going to always have a certain speed with your footwork. So if I practice not thinking, and I had photographic memory, I could flash, I could open up Task Manager without, I had a shortcut to open up Task Manager. That's how smart I was as a kid. Just a metaphor. And people stopped. People was like, oh, look at him. He not even thinking. That's why I used to hear as a kid. He just You know how kids like, he don't know what he doing. He just following his sibling. I was labeled that, but then people was like, I'm smarter than my siblings. So it was like every time it was like falling off a bike, which I didn't when the bike was bigger than me and all things like that. That's when they started tallying. Okay, we gotta say he don't have photographic memory anymore. Some shit, because they saw that I'm in that same gravity pool of, oh look, he just doing after the next person, and then they notice, no, it's just the right things to do, and we twinning that way with my sisters and yeah. So yeah, so then it's like I said, that vibe in Harry Potter when they went in the chess room, to now admit that I have photographic memory, and I made sure it's no proof of common sense, no proof of intelligence, no proof of thinking, dead, or no gravity, common sense, no gravity, intelligence, dead. You know what I'm saying? And pass AP Calculus that way, just following that method. Scary. You know what I'm saying? Because there's like another word I want to use that explains like how people like are a iceberg moving, like they fulfilling something before they die or something. Like they make themselves like a live seeker. Like it don't matter what hit them, they gon' or what they go through, they're gonna be this iceberg until they go through this shit to stop something. Then they collapse after that or something, fulfill a prophecy or something. Or go, or yeah, like they attack people that are fulfilling the prophecy, and it's just, um, not subconscious, but that type of. I know what I'm saying. So yeah, so photographic memory that no one knows. So it's obvious that I'm wearing like the air on me. You know what I'm saying? I got this tent around me, and people are talking around my tent, my Merkaba, right? Um, my chariot, right? So Colin Ghost Recon Splinter Cell. So yeah. So when I was born, right, I was conscious of the vibe of before words, and then words let me know, okay, I was named Prince. It actually echoed that sometimes when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? I was named Prince. I was named King. But it's not how people was named Prince, and then they was named King, and then went through a chronological story, and became an ancient chief. And then there was a lost king. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that story, but it's still a chief story. but the so the whole point that I'm making though is that's why I call myself a pirate. So yeah, so I had that type of consciousness understanding, but without words. So when I was learning different languages, because my mom's not American, so I was outside with all type of cultures. It had patois down already. It was about translating it to English so I could fit in. And foreign exchange student, y'all know what foreign exchange student I'm talking about too from middle school. That I didn't fit in that. Like that's why I didn't fit in. Like how my mom tried to act like she's more American than me. Like I don't fit in. Like he was like he know English better than me, and I'm just faking. Or I know his language better than him. I'm trying to stay quiet. You got like for real, like trying to bully me as well. Just like I'll take it, goddamn. But all right, so yeah, so it's like a shut up vibe. Like why I don't speak these languages. It's not, I'm focused. I'm concentrating. That's not gonna get me out of my predicament. And that's what I mean about is it because like you know what I'm saying? Like is it because I didn't, I'm not going through like what y'all go through, y'all like is it because God has never smited me, so I don't think God smites y'all? You get what I'm saying? what if God can't smite me? Like, if God smites me, I'm gonna be like the blinker technique, the flicker technique. I'm just saying, like, I'm a great kid, so I ain't a ninja. I'm born a retired ninja, so I can talk that way as a pirate. The best treasure. But the situation is, that's why I like Kingdom Hearts Pirates of the Caribbean world. But I never told my mom that. There's a lot of stuff that I saw, like, understood from when I went to Jamaica, and so it's like, is it because I don't go through that karma that I don't know how the world? I'm unconscious. It's like I want people to understand. Like, when I was born, like I said, back to what I'm saying about Kingdom Hearts in the final form. Before I went to my mother, and I'm in, like I said, a mummy. Like, I'm still doing that with the humidity, which is why I said roasting upperclassmen's. You know what I'm saying? And that mixtape is like, it could have just been, oh, I'm the top person of the class of 2013 Manhunt game, Savage before the word Savage, vibe of what ours was, class 2013 Manhunt game. And then upperclassmen knew me from my siblings, and it's just like, yeah, he's more mature than y'all. No, instead, it's roasting all summer infinity. Because that's why I called it that. It's the being born, and I knew upperclassmen whispered about, like, some Kingdom Hearts Final Form shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or anti-form and Final Form put together, right? Like, it's like Final Form. It's like the anti-form, but it's with the Final Form shit. Like I said on the handle, it's like I'm Vegito, but I sound like Gogeta. You know what I'm saying? My voice doesn't sound off, like a force fusion. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. But like, cause I was talking about like Easter eggs and how I'm Yoshimitsu. So, so in the end, you know what I'm saying? That's how I got the final form. What I just showed. I had to juggle shit like that. And it's an Easter egg in a motherfucking game. So, obviously, be it, like I said, the not having that same chronological lineage from, but still known as a chief, you know what I'm saying, in the ancient times, I was supposed to incarnate and be echoed the lost king, but that didn't happen in time, and we're never going to get on that understanding. It's the new kings have to come back alive. So when I was in school, that could have been a project for people, and it wasn't. So that's what roasting all summer infinity is, because I like being a pirate. So the whole thing is saying I got photographic memory still, but the way chess is set up, like Harry Potter or whatever, code word ancient Houdini, for that momentum, that I be saying that for the momentum of what people want to read between if they stay along too. Could just be to understand the Tetra Weapon on schoolboys, but so Ancient Houdini actually, and stop God from being Billie Jean, and I'm not slow. So in the end, the final form, right, and then type of anti-Sora vibe. That's like what I am. The anti-Sora vibe. You know, only spiritual animal that's a dragon. I have a song like that. So that type of vibe, but with the final form. And before I was born, like I said, it was like final form. I had to do that type of juggling, and like I said, it had that chess has to be understood. It's like I'm still juggling. I'm just juggling, but I still see you. So because I had that final form type of juggling, no one's seeing the anti-Sora vibe of what I am to be. Like Chuck, they ain't seeing the Chucky vibe of me. They're seeing the purity. Purity is all I see. Oh no. But what I'm saying is, right, so all I did was close my eyes and got in this cloud of amnesia. You know what I'm saying? Of how birthing works. But that's why I love the part where God's relationship with Adam and Eve came from Adam's rib. I love that atmosphere, because like I said, all I did was put words to the understanding, the English words to, because other languages do know me more than what English respects me for. So it's in that teaching. It's just Diablo. But so yeah, so like I said, so the natural disaster, there's only one person that can be born with the natural disaster that named prince and named king, and it didn't. And then the natural disaster, the world's infinite possibilities, the natural disaster of being known as a lost king doesn't. Only one person can be born that way. Only one person. So it's not hard to know who I am and the ancient name thereof that could conquer that feat, to know other people try to get that treasure to give a kid a great birth, which makes mine a Billie Jean story too, for it not happening that way. And there's more I want to explain more, but I'll just leave it with that understanding of Billie Jean story. So yeah, so being born, all I did was close my eyes, getting that treasure so everybody else can be known as a lost king. All I did was close my eyes, you know what I'm saying? Like, and because like a mummy, you know what I'm saying, that's always awoke. Because in the end, Pharaoh's, Shawty said the way I sleep it like it's Tron, you know what I'm saying? So, but the pirates of the Caribbean say go ahead, call that big ghost recon, or something like that. So the point that I'm making is, I was conscious on my mother doing the final form juggling of the shuffling, where there can only be one person born, and it's not their lineage is no shuffle, because in how the incarnation is going and people won't change, they ride inverted deck of cards, right? So that's why the way the war was set up, yes, by my calculations, y'all did exactly what the fuck y'all was supposed to do. By my calculations, there can only be one person, because it's me or something. But if it wasn't me, by my calculations, there can only be one person born that they're not a lost king. And because the way they incarnate in the world, in the rabbit hole of history repeats, y'all will keep the spill of the way they can be king. So if they try to play, and develop, y'all are trash. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are trash in basketball, football, all of that. Because if you chorologically, rider versus deck of cards, subconsciously or whatever other synonymous way we want to say, stop the prophecy, right? Fulfill the prophecy of stopping the prophecy. Y'all had to be trash. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. And then that handle is tweaking it, thinking that I'm trying to talk acting like trying to make me normal instead of smart. Abnormally smart. Like, we're smart too. Okay, and if you flag me, that's confirmation. Because I'm not talking that way like I should have made it. I'm talking that by research, by bird view, by satellites, by bureaus, administrations, by the shuffle of tesseracts to what it can be called a dream, to all in the back streets. You know what I'm saying? Which is not a dream, and you can die in that, a nightmare. You can die in nightmares. You know what I'm saying? the only way the doctor didn't think was deemed to not call me an abnormal baby is because I showed up from the I heard the doctor say you better not be in the back streets. Why don't you tell the motherfuckers to stop that shit? You know what I'm saying? What is telling the kid? You know what I'm saying? Because the astral world, you know, a kid is born from the metaphysical in the astral world. What is seeing that I'm in, you know what I'm saying? I try to shut me up, people, about, like, I straight up remember, obviously the doctor didn't talk to the belly. It was a heat wave gave to the belly, and my mom didn't care. And I'm protecting her doing the final form shit. And all I did was close my eyes. So that's why, the 29 years, even if I close my eyes, you get what I'm saying? We can't feel nothing between my eyes open. Because all I did was close my eyes from that final form shit. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to go outside, okay? But the way the ride and reverse deck cards, the war room set up, y'all trash on purpose. But the prophecy's already done. I'm a pirate. To be a lost king was to be birthed with a ritual to be known as a king. The lost last king. That's not how this world came. You know what I'm saying? I will never be a king. So, you know what I'm saying? Nor would I ever try to be anything but holy, giving God his position. You get what I'm saying? To take the throne of king. And God, just like Jesus is God and king. So, you know what I'm saying? Just like I said, is before I was born, it was understood when a kid is having a nightmare in the belly. You know what I'm saying? When the kid's just sleeping, and I get a heat wave because I'm being a nightmare eater and coming back to, slick the same adjacent to how my mom used to call me downstairs and be like, "Oh, I want you to meet my friend." As a kid, like, look at this is my youngest son. I was showing up like that, and the doctor would get smited. You know what I'm saying? I would say, like, I think it was the doctor getting smited why I didn't get deemed. I got deemed that I had the credentials because the God, at they sensing of God, they felt the God didn't deem me as. So, I knew everybody knew who God was. Then my first time stepping in church, like I was talking about in the Hanover song I keep doing. And then it's like, is God coming back for me? And then it's like Snickers or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I hope he's not pure or some shit. And then people started noticing the final form, and I started hearing people say certain slick words. And then I don't play that way. Just, I know what I'm saying. So, yeah, because in the end, the point that I'm making is, doctors would deem like, I know this baby is going through a lot. I knew this baby went through a lot before they was born. Like, they could deem like, hey, I could tell their lineage. I might not know exactly their lineage. You know what I'm saying? And then certain people had that crazy paralysis where there's like, oh, this baby, all right, we got to bring this baby into the world. I didn't get that. It was like being a nightmare eater was easy, so they didn't go, I know this baby's going through a lot. They wanted to say if I make it or not. And it was second nature to be like, when like we talking about like, when like someone has a speed, like it's one person moving. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, my grandma showed me this too, and why I call myself Chucky. She was like, oh, there goes the main. Like, she knew I could, like, when I left the house and I came back to see her, she knew I had that overseer thing around her. My senses were sharp like that, or ever fall into Nick, or wherever. And when I walked in, and it was like, she was like, I think knitting like me with my senses on her shoulder. And she's like, there goes the main. Like, it was like, she was showing how she's advanced and why she listens to God, knowing the child I am. So, So yeah, it's like, so I seen that on a doctor, but he didn't have that type of paralysis like my grandma. And so it's like I'm seeing him look at my mom, like I said, once I'm born now, no one's conscious on there. And I'm obviously I'm still there in the physical form, or they'll say like, you gotta keep. I'm still here in the physical, but I'm moving. That's what I'm trying to say, and we're not respecting it still. So even as a kid, so obviously I'm still here, right? So I'm in my mom's stomach. So like I said, the Bible they saying, I wonder what I'm 29 saying this, and I wanted to keep it to myself, but I guess we'll talk about it, right? You know what I'm saying? I want my son or child to see that I'm a fighter, and it's day little, but I'll archive it. So I'm in my mom's stomach, and like I said, so in the end, that's how I knew how pregnancies work. It just clicked, photographic memory. That's just being able to know. People act like being conscious on you. Like my mom said before too, I was like, "Who? We know the Sheikah, but who's the Yiga?" And then it clicked, so she don't even have to say, "What am I talking about?" She's like, "You be like, who's the Sheikah?" And it got that whole momentum of that situation. So, as her name start with Y, and she ain't it or something. But so I'm in the stomach, right? And like when someone moves so fast, you like see double and shit like that. So in the end, they could just tell when they sleeping and stuff like that. Like they don't see the double or nothing like that. Like when like a lancer and they're like ching, and then add speed to it, that type of understanding. So like I said, they'll see like we gotta get this baby here because they seen it going through a lot. Like I said, like when I moved to another city, it was like watching hearing a race in the radio type understanding. So doctors have that understanding with the astral world to an extent, right? And when I was born, they playing dumb about it now because someone else has that type of pool since then or something. Like check the demographics of popularity or something, and it's not synchronized or calibrated to social media. So yeah, so I'm being born. Obviously, I'm still in the stomach, but we're not seeing like the as above, so below, where they can't really see through the humidity control. They just can tell the consciousness of the mother and the consciousness of the child, why she's having this child to an extent. Me, they don't see why she's having this child, other than the child's protecting her. Like I said, when I was born, everybody's born with a ref and that understanding. And me, it was like, I guess God's reffing too. I don't know. But yeah, it was something like that. So yeah, so I'm in my mom's stomach and they keep watching me, and like, I can tell this baby having a nightmare, or this baby went through a lot to get born here and this mother's not grateful of it, or this baby, I know this baby been through a lot, this baby gonna change this. They didn't give me that. They just was like, you better, like they seen this go on of me. Oh, I could tell the baby's having a nightmare. It's like, again? You know what I'm saying? It's like, again? To a point, like I said, where I seen from over the shoulder, which is really, I was always that ref. They didn't know that baby was going to be born. And then when it got to that no ceiling, there was like, they gave me some heat wave, like, you better show up when I tell you to show up. Like I said, my mom would call me downstairs, that type of vibe. I better, when I said, like, don't embarrass me when I call you. And I see, yeah, my youngest son comes down right at a good time, every time. So, yeah, they're like, okay, I know this baby's having a nightmare. And they just seeing the nightmare either do this. Like, obviously, I'm not moving. But, how to say, let me get another. So these two bottles are the same. So obviously I'm not moving, but they're seeing like, oh shit. So if we don't know the songs, like I just want to four souls. Yeah. Every time about baby me, right? So these two are the same bottles, but in the physical plane I'm still there. This is just to represent I was moving. And I guess moving to the speed of light, we don't see me move out of this dimension. So like, how to explain it? Like final form. So in the end, so it's final form. So in the end, gravity and God saved them, but they still going through that transition of that nightmare that they could die in the nightmare, even being saved. Me, what are you doing? You can't just keep coming back and leaving. It's like, what are you talking about? You can't trick me. You laugh. So that's what I'm saying. I don't sleep. I just do that since birth. Okay, so a puppy. So like I said, so I'm seeing the doctor choice that I'm doing this. It's like just becoming one like that. And he can't trace it. He just like, you can't fool me. The atmosphere is telling me something. You get what I'm saying? Like a soul. Oh no, I'm such a cool baby. So in the end, you get what I'm saying? My city know me. You get what I'm saying? We know DK in 1995. But alright, so yeah. So like I said, there's one kid that's gonna be born in Last King. And so I want people to know I'm 29 now. That was hilarious, right? Can I end this live? It's been an hour. Almost an hour. Let's end this motherfucking live. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. How the fuck I get told like that from a doctor? Like, the doctor was not talking to my mother. They were talking to me. No, I got photographic memory. I had AP calculus. Like I said, that gravity pool with my siblings. There's no proof of conversation, no proof of intelligence, no proof of thinking. From the beginning of time to now, we just gotta know it's just a man. You get what I'm saying? To put a what's the name on me? You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so being 29 and that responsible, it showed I could be such a leader of disease, and just sitting here is because, like I said, in the end, my mom having the tumor, I could have explained it, but I feel like people told me to shut up, and yeah, to go 29 years of growing up away from that, and that's why I know not to call it in the end, the Lost King, through the natural disaster of that avalanche, that everybody, the noise talking about, trying to trace when I'm going to do that, and there is none of that, and then I incarnate where it's supposed to be respect as the Lost King, and there's no respect for that, which makes me not a king. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not the culture of a king, let alone lost, street orphanage, lost kings all over the place. So I'm a pirate out of all the lost kings. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not about to wage war on the world that they have succumbed to and advanced to, that they can develop more. But I'm also not gonna lose jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be the host. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be the owner of the orphanage that people can live their life from the Matrix against them for being that lost king for years. Me, oh yeah, like I said, I played Legend of Zelda, a medieval game, and it just clicked to me. Like, music spoke volumes to me. Lost Forest, that spoke volumes that it's okay to not be like others. Because I can just get lost. And I'm trying to get lost. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying so hard to get lost. That's what boom. So, that's the point. I'm trying to get lost and I can't get lost. It's like, you know, I'm not trying to kill myself. I'm trying to enjoy the tribute that I know what linear breaching is in the chess game thereof, for me not to show that feat no more when the doctor straight up heat waved me inside of a woman's belly. That's regular. It's just regular for me. It's just regular. Alright, so you know what I'm saying? But not regular for other people. And so I'm followed to not hit that feat. Not understanding me dying will put me at that feat anyway, because I'm used to that type of living as a mummy. I said mother. Mummy. And when I saw it all, I saw, oh, mama. She wrote the vibe, code word, H-U-D-D. But, you know, things spoke volumes to me as a kid. Because I was funny. I wasn't about, I need to learn about myself. And then I learn about myself, I'm going to take over the world. No, it wasn't like that. It was a whole bunch of, I know I'm different. And it was cool to learn if I had left some type of essence in the world. And that's what, and I was learning shit like that. And, so, once again, the point that I'm making is, someone of my caliber shouldn't be cooped up in the house, nor am I trying to be cooped up in the house. But the point that I'm making is, when my mom was pregnant with me, they deemed that I was having a nightmare. I would just, let's just leave a moment. I'm just gonna leave a space. So every time I watch this video, I'll make a joke about how they deemed I was having a nightmare for what I just explained about how they was like, take it serious or some shit. Take the nightmare serious. What you mean? Well, alright, so when I played Legend of Zelda, and I'm hearing. Alright, so I was taking it serious like that. And what I guess, you name the type of Tesseract or situation, change the soundtrack up. So the game was really fun to me because, like I said, my city know me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was neighborhood kid, neighborhood mom vibe. As I was listening to an old song of mine. So I kind of live medieval. You know what I'm saying? You niggas try to get out of jail. And then won't have to be running from type of nightmares that I had to run away when I got pretzeled. Wait a minute. Oh no. Oh no. What you I get, kind of live medieval. I get out of nightmares. I'll stay in this bitch. What are they gonna say? They gonna put themselves in a nightmare. Who can take them out? I don't think so. But so, So I knew I had the world down to a T. Down to, like I said, the shuffle of natural disasters And people are like, oh man, okay, I had a nightmare, but I still had I woke up today, and then the world keeps matrixing to a way that I was born knowing if you move off a fucking nightmare like that, because you can tally the demographics of popularity, whatever becomes the genre, subject, or scenario of the demographics to call that word, isn't adjacent to social media, is not adjacent to their quasi demographics, for lack of better words. So yeah, that's all I'm trying to say is I'm trying to get lost. I got a lot of songs that are beautiful to me. I got a lot of songs, and I haven't really tried yet. I got a lot of songs that I do want to put some and a forest to me wouldn't sound like that to me. That's what a nightmare would sound like to me. But yeah, so yeah, that is just the main, but that's the whole point. That's what a nightmare would sound like to me. Or anything worse, if nightmare is not the right word, right? That's what that would sound like if we don't want to put a word to it. Because I don't want to do the song that I was talking about, but it's kind of living evil. Like if I put on my Webpoolz hoodie. But yeah, so that being said, I know a lot about humidity control. When I move, they ain't gon' snitch. But once I do, they gonna snitch. I'm trying to do something amazing. I was crying for myself because it's so beautiful. So shivery. Shivery in that category. So, that's why I call myself jungle. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so, yeah. It's just like, I'm 29 now, fine wine. So in the end, I was doing that with no place to put my feet. Now I'm doing that in a chest of I don't have photographic memory, even though it echoed. And what did I do if I'm doing something that I'm just juggling and I can still see you, to lose that fold or threshold if I'm only getting better? You know what I'm saying? No, it's clout of chest like Harry Potter. Code word Ancient Houdini. And it's like just like the Harry Potter scene. I said Harry Potter only. But yeah, that ancient, hard to move, you know what I'm saying? Like they said something, they was hoping that that big ass berg type move like that. It was like a iceberg stone move, you know what I'm saying? It's like avalanche to move or something. So it's like that vibe. Like I'm trying to make people know I have photographic memory, when really it's just like I do. So to cancel that, and I remember, you know what I'm saying? Down to I know what Ghost Recon is and what I was doing before I was, before I was being incarnated, So it's like I said, so the main thing I'm just trying to illustrate is I had that unchiseled iceberg avalanche of understanding of there can only be one person that has to be born and maybe can be looked at as a lost king, but everybody at this type of linear and history repeating are just lost kings, And like I said, it has to be a natural disaster. It's a chess comprehension. It's a stack of so much you can't stereotype war. The only way that it wasn't 10 times out of 10 was because of conscious people of how to cause a natural disaster that happened, and people tried to take that as treasure, knowing they can reap. Only one person can be born that way, which ta-da. But the main thing I'm saying is everybody was born as a named prince and king, and then the lineage of being a chief and time spiraled out and made them known as a lost king. The only way that it, the natural disaster of chronological life of it not having that same click is where the understanding of causes of Amenti and dimensions and time traveling and dimension traveling and space continuums and the medieval time to space that made the linear a lock-in to, like I said, the doctor. Like, you can't trick me about your speed, and that's when I was deemed Flash. That's why my name is not. I'm not Spider-Man. It'll be more of that. Webpoolz, more of that name. Flash, a medieval, Four Swords, Flash, Webpool. Yeah, it's it's the main thing that I'm trying to illiterate, right? Because I don't know how to illiterate it, right? And really, I'm just playing the chess game right now, like I said, from the Harry Potter scene and iceberg for the stone to move or something. So it's an iceberg to make stone move, and it's so simple for me to make a move. So there's a right inverse deck of cards, right inverse deck of cards for the next iceberg to make a stone move, and that's going to be way off from being the only person that we born out of lost king can flip the world and use it as a sundial speed mechanism, for lack of understanding. The league is full of trash ass people because it should have been flipped since 1995. But Adolf Hitler doesn't take credit for his kills. So that chariot, understanding being born at 1995, and you know what I'm saying? So the main thing I'm saying, because I was going to end the live, but let's get back to the same final form. So it's always an ultimatum to keep this final form type of juggle. I'm just juggling, but I still see you going, not understanding that's called great customer service. I ain't got to keep shit going. Doesn't matter how long of a iceberg stone we think need to move. And it's not that. It's just how long it's been going that we don't understand. That's how stone cold I am to think I can't stop or what's the word? Gather all my everything back and deal with the bodies thereof, or what it mean to gather everything. But it's people. It's like being spoiled by that living. Not understanding things can flip in a second. What a great catch, right? So like I said, everybody else is being born, and the doctors from God and the not cycled in ref, but people look at God. Like I said, Blake Griffin being born, and the administrations couldn't help to that peak of, like I said, Blake Griffin being born, right? And being an example of, I can tell this kid went through a lot. But they was like, you're going to help the God and the ancestors help you. Then he went to that cycle in ref and made it as the first overall. When I was born, you know what I'm saying, people were spoiled by that and not understanding when do I get that help? Like when I go to church too, I'm like, it was God. You know what I'm saying? But the main point I'm saying is juggling like that type of final form, and all I did was close my eyes. And it caused this natural disaster. From being the shuffle of lineage that is, there's no way to say it didn't come with pain, to why, like I said, it's like I'm getting told to shut up to talk about how that tumor came about from my mother and consciousness thereof, while they always kept that radio race understanding of births. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm being born and knowing the avalanche to the humidity control, but the blending of winds, we don't see it. So it's just what you have to know about your lineage, or what you know about mystic world and mysterious things to extent mysterious, you know what I'm saying? When it's just a blending of winds but certain stuff do have that type of mysterious things to it. But they'll even say those little things that is just science. You know what I'm saying? To an extent, to humidity control is just humidity control. Yeah. So I guess, like I said, the I said on the handle, me speaking is just a voiceover. That final form is just Bubble Boy doing that. Me, I'm not having, and my mom trying to make fun of me, not understanding that's why they put me in that class for speech impediment, because it was like, I don't, I'm talking to him, and it's just like when foreign people talk to me this way, when foreign people talk to them like they on the roof with these boroughs and administrations, they put them in that class to know, like, you can't save your mother that way. And that's usually how a parent's life goes downhill, because they take the child away from the parent, if not try to do etc. from there. So they try to do that to me, not understanding that we're just spoiled. You know what I'm saying? And by not understanding how, like, you gonna do that to me and you think I'm not gonna bring this all in, that you just said that I'm like, as baby Webpool was the top zoner since even being born. So, like I said, I'm 29 now. So, because, I want to ease off on the vibe that people was trying to act like we don't understand the city I'm from and people I've met to my age, younger or older. So, just inverted. That's why I could call it a inverted survey. But the point that I'm making, I'm trying to like oversaturate the understanding of there's only one person that can be born and not known as a lost king. To make the covenant of the natural disaster of time being a stopwatch instead of a linear or lineage that has to go through to make people recertify themselves from those past times. And I'm that pirate. That sounds like some great treasure. But the main thing I'm just trying to say is the final form of, from Kingdom Hearts type of vibe, of that lost treasure. You know what I'm saying? I'm lost king, excuse me. Can't be known as a lost king unless everybody's in a position to celebrate the birth. Which no one was. So the point that I'm making is that linear breaching of martial arts authority sundial of life to pyramid schemes of stacking so much you can't stereotype war is the tactic from the only person being born, and that could be born in that lineage, and it can't be known as a lost king because the lineage is two timelines, goes to, the main way to know them is ghosts, right? If you think about medieval ghosts, you think of it's some type of someone that warm, people are okay. What's the scariest shit? What's the word? They'll say the scariest shit from the medieval time is a king with dictatorship other than chivalry love. A dark horse swordsman. You know what I'm saying? That's probably not how to call them, but we know what I'm saying. What's the word? What's the word for someone that's like on a limb? Like, a pirate, right? But it's not pirate. It's like, I can't think of the word, but when there's like someone that had a job and they don't have that job no more, but they still that powerful. They're doing shit off their own mercy. like someone off their own mercy, swordsman, a lost king. You know what I'm saying? That knows what he's done between timelines, if not, because a castle has satellites. And then the worst of it all is a ghost. The ghost. The worst of it all is they saying something that is just through the air, and no one can put their hands on it and can just lock them in a nightmare and do as they please, from the Greek and Roman being the 10% of summonings from their heritage understanding. Only doing it to that passive understanding, but still having it. Ghost is the worst thing. And it's just people it's just a play on of ghosts. There was no one else that was a ghost. They're saying if ghost goes, damn, I was about to say the word too. I saw it and everything. If ghost goes, I guess double agent, but that's not the word I was gonna say. Yeah, but we know what word I'm trying to say. So that whole understanding of the lineage of ghosts doesn't have a chronological. It's just like many things you gotta be scared of. I feel like the game Mario, Boo has that vibe of what I'm saying about that medieval ghost understanding. So it does actually. So like I said, code word ancient Houdini. So I can't think of the word, but I know what word I was gonna use. But double agent works. But yeah. So it's like there's nothing holding. Like I said, in the old days, like early 2000s, late 90s, and probably further back, this understanding was in the atmosphere. It wasn't something that we had to research and to say, where'd you learn that from? It was a whole. I had to have my eyes open from this, from when I closed my eyes to open my eyes in this linear understanding. But yeah, so from people's imagination, and their imagination made sense to put together from the and then, like I said, social media's demographics haven't met the demographics from 1995 or beforehand to 2024 of what popularity is. But yeah, so the understanding of not a grass lineage and the natural disasters thereof to move through anything. There can only be one person that's not a lost king, which goes to the ghost story that can take up a pen. And you know what I'm saying, can go through things. That's better than a lancer that can lance through somebody. But yeah, so that's just godly, like to be able to lance through something. It can saturate itself and use his body as a weapon. But yeah, so the main thing that I'm saying is humidity control plays a whole role, and that's proof the military started as a hospital first, because it plays a whole role of why the medieval times didn't have these crazy back-at-the-back war. It was like a natural disaster, from a nightmare to tesseract dimensions, neutral to dream to night, what a nightmare meant in the medieval time. So to the monetary system now, and that's how the world works. So the main thing I'm just trying to say is, in the medieval times of people knew this was a safe near, the atmosphere was clear. In a natural disaster of neutral that almost went nightmare, people try to glitch or a common sense matrix that people had to troubleshoot the blend in the wind. So people could see the wind flow to the crystallizing of the humidity control, avalanche, icebergs between. Ghosts lived between that more than other people lived on a neutral basis to what people will think science and magic correlate um, to a satellite, a castle as a satellite, then the understanding, obviously, from that makes there can only be a net one person that lives in those the unshuffled lineage and be born from that achievement of being able to understand how the military starts our hospital first from the medieval time thereof and what God means to the world, to this linear, because it's clear air to say, all right, it's clear, we know this neutral basis if you wake up your consciousness. Two, I feel like people are playing with me and saying nobody was conscious on their parents because I was. So whatever I was from that consciousness understanding, for being, like I said, the understanding of there could only be one person born, and it's not a lost king, nor king at all. You know what I'm saying? And if it's the same understanding, the ghosts always lived in that scene. Like I said, it's like you can't see my heat wave because it was like, oh, you want to have a heat wave that you didn't start shit? You know what I'm saying? So it's like glass without shattering glass. But if, we could see the humidity control, we would see my fingers flowing through, and it'd be like, y'all know, like when you see some shit and you pull this way and then you see the strings through it, but from when you pull, not strings, but the lines when you pull that, that's what humidity control is. We don't see none of that stuff, but it's kind of like glass light where we can understand it because we want to hide my heat wave and it flow, that I'm not trying to harm nobody, not even give a heat wave to beam somebody that way. Yeah. So the main thing I'm just saying is, what if I was born in where I see humidity control, and this is the first time I'm born with not seeing humidity control? You know what I'm saying? No proof of common sense, no proof of intelligence, no proof of thinking. Dead. While everybody else is used to the blending of winds and knowing that they're lost in the streets, lost in the field, lost at recess. You know what I'm saying? From that blending of wind to this linear city, they don't get that same carousel of safety of levels to this shit. Shawty said the way I sleep is like a strong. It's just dream or nightmare. You get what I'm saying? Instead of that, okay, I'm not that lost. The world is history repeat. The world is a enormous thing. You know what I'm saying? Old. You know what I'm saying? But the main point that I'm just trying to make is, I was conscious on my mother. It's like, because God's never smited me, right? Or anything thereof. I don't know. We are trash, like in sports. And a certain player can come and help win rings, how trash people are. And that should, it shouldn't be like I'm saying that and there's nothing that can be said or done. It should be understood. There's people still on the level of how the league was playing before 2024, and they're just not in the league. You know what I'm saying? Because Michael Vick will have a field day. Come on now. Michael Vick will have a field day in this class. Why? Because people take plays off. People wasn't taking plays off to hit Vick. You know what I'm saying? I could name other players too, but I'm just saying it is obvious. When I was a senior, I saw the freshmen taking plays off. These people are taking plays off more than them. Oh, that's a fucking field day. I don't know. So, yeah. But the main thing I'm just saying, though, is calibrated the same right inverse deck cards to make sure the last person that's not known as a king or a lost king from the story, that many names of mythology stories, but if we just name the prince from natural disaster to nightmares, just name king from the natural disaster. You know what I'm saying? And then the natural disasters didn't, because it was given away. So the way the block of lineage from those between two spaces, unknowing what kid will come from the lineage of being a king, it's obvious to know what person will come from that won't be known as a lost king because it didn't go into the chief mode. Look, still be known as a chief though. But that whole understanding. So, like I said, the con goes free, con splinter cell. But yeah, that's the whole point that I'm making. It's like, wow. It's like, it's the main thing I'm just glad is I put down that understanding, and I could get way more than that from just that little joke. I mean, obviously, there's 2 decades, almost 3 now living. There's multiple other funny feats. Obviously, that's gonna be the title of hysterical, but obviously a lot of things reigned in that procedure that is hard to say I'm not heard of, nor play dumb about what I mean. Because, like I said, Decatur 1995. But there's just, in general, the demographics of popularity between growing to social media didn't calibrate, troubleshoot, or if it was troubleshoot, it didn't take in, like the Lost King, and that drip thereof to keep blanking out, which causes a minesweeper. But, yeah, for Chief didn't be known as Chief and not as a lost king, born in the world, where that's where it was echoing. That's where it should be deemed, and there's no one's in that transaction to have it like that. So they'll be born not known as a king. Well, I know I'm a pirate, and I study my information, and like I said, I already know who I was, already conscious who I was. I guess a lot of people wasn't conscious on their first incarnation, so they have that type of clout to play dumb, as they will play dumb as well with someone that is conscious, to keep them in that common sense matrix of the different mythologies and tesseracts and stories, dreams and nightmares thereof, where it causes a different consciousness rupture in another dimension. But in the end, the doctor saw that that baby's having a nightmare, and it was like, again, so to be doing that final form and again, instead of looking like I'm that guy, you get on that tent, I've always had a hard time in the world. So it's not out the norm. And people are like, what are you talking about? Well, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. In the end, I was deemed that I will not be sleeping. I'm Jehuti. I will live a forever world in darkness. I will be a dark aura. Like I said, in the end, I have to be okay with it, which I am. I am infinity times infinity to the power of infinity, to the power of infinity for the first number. Okay with it. So, yeah. That's like I said, to me, that knowing that as a kid and hearing dun, 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 and then also the beginning of you know what I'm saying, but we don't want to see how beautiful it is because that's scary. I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, y'all have a good one. All right.